I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
All right. Let me go ahead and do a disclaimer, right? And I'm going to sound very contradictory. I'm also going to sound very hypocritical in what I'm about to say, because both can be true at the same time. When when Jasmine Crockett first announced her candidacy, I said this months ago, um, about 3 months ago. I said, um, she's not going to be she's going to have a hard time because it's a trap. And I don't know if y'all heard me said this back in November of last year. When they went ahead and changed the districts in Texas, and a lot of the state legislature left Texas, and they went to Chicago and New York and LA, because because the Democrats in Austin decided to flee. And what they did, because Donald Trump asked the governor for a special session, and then he asked the state legislature to change the district. Then they conveniently split up Jasmine Crockett's district on purpose. And let me sit here and say this. She is not wrong. Jasmine Crockett is not wrong about who cheated the election. But understand, what was proven Tuesday, I told y'all back in November. It was a trap to set her up. I said this a long time ago. Queen Sun Kiss, and somebody else argued me down. I listen. I told y'all this is a trap set up for her. And it's not just a trap from the Republican Party. No, it's a trap from both the Democrat and Republican parties. They both trapped her up, and um, that's what I see. Right? It was a setup, and watching the machinations in Dallas, when Ken Paxton, um, when Ken Paxton uh, filed a conjunction with the Texas Supreme Court to halt the balloting in Dallas County because because of the mix up with the precincts being moved. Um, and normally the precinct is supposed to be set up the week prior, right? Or at least 2 months, a month prior to the election. They changed it within days, so people got mixed up when people got mixed up on where to go vote at in Dallas County. And why just Dallas County itself? Why not every other county? So while Jasmine Crockett and I think the Crockett campaign is looking at Ken Paxton and the Republican Party, she's not entirely wrong. But you also have to understand it came from the Democrat Party as well. Um, and that's what's going on. That's what I believe is happening. So anyway, let me talk about something I don't like, right? About the white liberal. Um, let's talk about this real quick because yeah, it's fair use. And if you see the title, you know who I'm referring to. And I'm about to go in on this real quick, right? Because only Dallas and Williamson County. Why those two counties? You know, that's where her house is at. That's the whole point. Why that's where her house is at. Why only that county? Because she had a big number in Harris, you know? Like again, when she first run, I was against it, right? I was against her running for the Senate. Still am against her run for Senate. But I came to the conclusion that she need that I voted for her. I voted for her for a reason, and that is what's going on in Iran. What's going on with what happened in Iran? What's going on in you know uh, some of the Epstein files? All of that. There's a reason why I voted for her during the primary. See, I have some misgivings about Miss Crockett. Trust and believe that. But I'm going to be fair about my analysis. And I'm also going to sit here and say that she was done a wrong deal, a raw deal. But like I said, America loves a comeback story. I don't think so, Mr. Majestic. I don't think so. My understanding is that only registered Democrats could vote in the primary. Her resume is better than Talerico, so they chose. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was one thing too, though. Her resume was better than his. But like I said, I have my misgivings about her, but at the same time, I'm not going to drag her. I'm not. But here is my problem with the majority report. Let me go ahead and play some of this real quick. It's not going to be a very long live stream. So anyways, keep it playing.
Of our politics, not great on Israel.
It's also not running in the bluest state in the country.
But it's a contrast as to say, like, you know, Talerico, he supports the PRO Act. Our friend David Griscom has a really good piece in Jacobin speaking about this, and how also he identifies a villain, the billionaires. Talerico will unequivocally talk about how the billionaires are the problem and that we need to be standing up to them.
See, let me go ahead and say this. Now, am I 15 minutes into this yet? Okay, well, let me be polite in what I'm about to say. I'm going to be very polite and very clean what I'm about to say, because it's not 15 minutes has not passed for my monetization purposes. But what she said is a crock of crap. When she was the front runner last month, the same donors that pumped into the James Talerico campaign was the same people, the Ellison group, that pumped money into the Donald Trump campaign. Yet this white liberal female, this white liberal woman, did not sit there and put that into the discussion. This is a very disingenuous argument that she raised. Now, she lied and say that, and Sam sitting there did not check her on that. What about the money that was given to the James Talerico campaign? What about the super PAC? Who is this lady's name? I want to know who's this lady's name. What's her name? You know what? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. But doesn't even matter. But what she said was crap. Okay.
With his message in Texas, you can still be sort of moderate as on issues like that, and identify the villains in a way that like actually builds political power and builds a constituency that can be lasting. What I also like about Talerico and how he was able to win yesterday is the constituency that he cultivated being a salient way to defeat Trumpism in 2026. He just was absolutely dominant in this primary with Latino voters, particularly in the south and western parts of the state. He ran up the number.
This is where I have to, I might want to talk later on about this, but Jasmine should have went to West Texas. She should have traveled to West Texas and talk about water. Okay? This massive state is about to run out of water. Famine is coming. If you don't live next to the coast, you're pretty much going to have food shortages. And because of Texas have this habit of building mega cities, Austin and San Antonio about to be one big mega city in the next 10, 15 years. And, it looks like they're about to join together in any moment. Water is important. West Texas is pretty much a desert. Okay. That's West Texas. It's pretty much a desert. Where I'm at is green. Okay. It's green where I'm at. But if you go 100, 200 miles west, it's just completely desert and dry. And you can't keep importing people from New York, Illinois, and California into the state where you have water problems. Jasmine should have went. Miss Jasmine Crockett should have went to West Texas and talked about we need desalination plants. We need more reservoirs. We need rebuild the electrical grid. She didn't do that enough. And if she did, though, it wasn't enough. And I bet that she would peel off the Hispanic pop votes from West Texas, West and South Texas, but especially in the Rio Grande Valley. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
Numbers with Latino voters around Houston. The Latino voters are key here to
thank you. Yeah. Right. Man, get out of here with that FBA nonsense. Get out of here with that FBA nonsense, because see, some of y'all do not research. Let me say something about some of y'all on YouTube, right? In this space, y'all really do not research people or research politics. Y'all take talking points and y'all run with it. That's why sometimes I really don't want to talk to y'all who talk about FBA. It's kind of like the whole, let me use this as a good point, right? Obama. Y'all use the Obama thing, right? And I'm about to drag Phil the Advice show on this, right? I'm gonna drag him because he keeps saying Obama did nothing for black people. Well, black unemployment dropped to 2% by the time Obama left. From April of 2011, the black unemployment was 18%, but it dropped to 2% in January 2017, just when Obama left office. So I'm really getting me tired of y'all's talking points. I really am. Now, let me talk about this, the lie that Emma made. The white woman named Emma, she made a lie. Now, as somebody down here in Texas, I know what happened. She was set up. Jasmine Crockett was set up on both sides, and I said this months ago, and everybody thought I was anti-black woman. No, I wasn't. I was telling people, listen, she's being set up. She was set up by the Democratic establishment, and she was set up by the Republican Party when they were fudging the numbers with the polling on whether she should join the race or not. And that's after when they redistrict her house outside of her congressional district. It was set up to knock her out. And she, with no home base, she had to go ahead and, anyway.
Because Trump made such historic gains with them in 2024, he also was pretty dominant in the white suburbs. But this is his appeal to those groups is like a path to victory potentially in Texas. But it's not just the groups that he appeals to. Really, the fact that he identifies billionaires as the villain and he speaks about
again, the same billionaires. How can he fight against the billionaires when the billionaires gave money to him? And it's the same billionaires that gave money to Trump. While you two white liberals sit right here and actually act like, oh, he's on some revolutionary stuff when he's accepting the same money. And he only gained, Talerico only gained that money the month before the election when he was behind on the polls. Because he was behind. She was the front runner up until up until last week.
Christianity in this humane manner, I think is like a potent antidote to the sadism of Trump in this era. So we'll see. But I was encouraged that he won fairly decisively in Texas last night.
We're gonna play.
Oh, really? Based upon what, Emma? What was the reason behind that, Emma?
Oh, and here's a clip of him and his victory speech.
We are not just trying to win an election. We are trying to fundamentally change our politics. And it's working. The number of young people.
Okay. Hey, well, I'll tell you what. This child's a waste of time, then why you here then? why you here? And comprehension is so bad. If you go back to the early part of my channel, early part of this live stream, I said I had misgivings about her. So for you to sit here and say, though, I'm being clueless and everything else, no, not. I told you at the beginning of this live stream, I had misgivings about Jasmine Crockett. How many times I gotta say? I even said it about 3 times in this live stream. You Negroes who come over here, y'all got bad comprehension skills. Y'all got bad comprehension skills over here, and that really pisses me off. Y'all can't comprehend, or y'all don't listen at all. Well, Auntie, my moderator's asleep at the moment. My moderator's asleep. So I'll go ahead. I'll handle it. I'll handle it.
Who showed up to vote in this election is unprecedented. The number of Texans who have never voted before but showed up in this election is unprecedented. The number of independents and Republicans who voted in this Democratic primary is unprecedented. This is proof that there is something happening in Texas. Tonight, the people of our state gave this country a little bit of hope. And a little bit of hope is a dangerous thing. I want to thank y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in this fight. God bless y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I ain't had no premium, so forgive me on that.
So, and I think all of Crockett's comments about saying Latinos have a slave mentality also were circulated a lot and had an impact on this race. But I mean, she has strengths too, and we'll see where her career takes her at this point.
Where is it going to take her?
I'm more encouraged that the candidate that's replacing her is more progressive and is actually a Justice Democrat. But I am happy.
Hold on. The candidate that's replacing her for Congress, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone because we gonna talk about that later on.
That her style of really individualized, factionalized politics that puts forward like this kind of clapback, I don't know, rot within the Democratic Party that's less focused on like collectivism and more on individual achievements and there's like a good amount of narcissism in how she campaigned.
Wait. Let's talk narcissism, right? Well, how are you going to beat Trump? Because Trump is a narcissist. The Trump campaign is narcissism. And you talk about collectivism. Not all of us are socialists, Emma. And yes, and we talk about the American dream. The American dream is based on the power of the individual as well. Emma, I guess you forgot about that part too. But let's keep it moving up.
That was dealt a decisive blow, because that has had success in factionalizing Democratic voters and diluting the power of, say, like the kind of insurgent populist parts of the party.
It was shameful of Allred and Crockett jumped in with both feet on it, of the smearing of Talerico down the stretch, which was to paint him as like anti-black. I think was disgusting and typical.
Wait a minute. Now, Allred is a black man. And it seemed, though, what Talerico said, according to the women who was there in the room with Talerico made comments about Allred before Allred jumped out the race, about him being a mediocre black man. Now, where's the smoke for that, Emma? Where's the smoke for that, Sam? While y'all over here talking about the fractionalizations of the Democratic Party. Classic white liberal malarkey. That's what this is, you know.
Of certain parts of the Democratic Party, and it is very good that it lost, and hopefully we can turn the page on that sort of cynical type.
That's the thing. It was just so cynical,
and people saw through it. And there's maybe some people that don't yet, but everyone else is moving on.
You're not going to win Texas. I'm just right now, as somebody, as somebody who from Texas, the Democrats not going to win this election anyway. I'm just going to tell you right now. So yeah. You know what? I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be petty. Okay? I'm going to be petty here. What's going on up here? But let me give somebody a wrench. I'm going to give somebody a wrench, okay? I'm going to be petty here. And yeah, I'm going to give you a standard monetization. So, Auntie, if you feel funky, and if they want to jump, go ahead and do what needs to be done. But anyway, so yeah, if you feel funky, go ahead and do it. But anyway, where was I at? Now, whoever this real brother got the bag, whoever he is, you know, anyway.
Meanwhile, here is the guy, Frederick Haynes, who is going to be, it's a blue district in Texas, all but assured to be the next congressperson from what, Texas, what number is it?
I'm not sure, but it's around Dallas.
Right.
And this clip is from October 8th, 2023.
And watch how stupid and clueless they are about this person who they're about to put up in a minute. Hold on.
Because I recognize that we've got to be pro-Israel. Yeah, we got to do that. Or we get in trouble. Well, I'm coming to get in trouble. Israel, and I'm going to quote Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter says that Israel is engaging in apartheid with Palestinians. And so the Palestinians who don't have the weaponry of Israel, the Palestinians don't have the financial backing from the United States that Israel has. And so they throw their rocks and shoot their arrows, and Israel is able to bomb them and kill them. Watch in the news a disparity between Palestinians being killed killed and Israelis being killed. It is totally unfair. But this country is going to stand on the side of apartheid because that's its track record. It stood by apartheid in South Africa because it created apartheid in this country.
I would say it's a bit of an upgrade from Jasmine Crockett.
It's so odd to hear a Christian rhythm say something I believe in. It's unsettling.
And this is how stupid all three of these people on this show is. The pastor who was preaching that was Jasmine Crockett's pastor, dumbasses. I gotta say it. That's her pastor. You know how Big J knows? Well, I think Queen Sunkiss knows because Queen Sunkiss attended the same church. Where's well, Queen Sunkiss at work though? She can't come on my channel right now. That's her pastor. You jackball fools. I want some likes up since there's 99 people watching. I want some likes up, please. Put up the likes up. That's her pastor, the Reverend Haynes is the pastor of the church that Jasmine Crockett is the member of. You don't even know what you're talking about, Sam and Emma. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. For real. But anyway, enough with them. Let me go over here, right? Let me go over here. Because this thing needs to be talked about too, right?
And I came across I was scrolling on Threads and I came across a post, and down in the comment section was this comment. The conversation is about James Talerico winning the primary in Texas. And this person comments and says, Crockett will keep her rep seat. That's good news. So this person thinks that Jasmine Crockett lost the primary for Senate, but she will be able to keep her seat in the House.
I see why Tabitha is doing this video. I know why she's doing this video because it's very sad that people don't know, should not be speaking on politics. You got people around here who's speaking on things that they know nothing about, and it's really getting aggravated, especially among black people, right? Because we be the main ones coming on YouTube talking about FBA and ADOS. We need our reparations, and you know, I remember the whole ADOS movement started back about 4 or 5. When was this? About 7 years ago. When Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell did the whole ADOS movement, and then they said, well, we're not going to vote for president. We're going to vote solely down ballot. Now, I was aggravated by this, right? When they said that, right? I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute. If you're going to do a movement to get reparations for slavery, you're going to need the court system to help you out. Because if you're going to do reparations for slavery, You need the involvement of the federal court system, particularly because between the federal government and the state governments, especially those of the former Confederacy, right? Well, I like to, and I said this years ago. Okay, who appoints federal judges? It's not the people down ballot. It's not your governor. It's not your senator. It's not your rep. The president of the United States, aka the executive branch, appoints the federal judge. And that's why I said, and a lot of these people around on this part of YouTube, they're so, they have a rudimentary mind, and then they want demands, but then they don't know how the mechanics of the American government is formed or how it works. And that part is aggravating. And people in this part of social media, they gravitate towards the charlatans like Tyreek and Yvette Carnell and Boyce Watkins and the Manosphere and all these, you know, and you got people around here who got rudimentary minds and they want to do no extensive research on things. And it's really getting aggravating to a point where you really don't want to talk to them anymore. You try to talk to them. No, this is not how it happens. They said, no, it isn't, man. I believe the president's elected, not elected. That's not even the argument. But anyway, I see why she is frustrated in this video.
When I tell you that George Bush needs to be sued, there needs to be a class action lawsuit against George Bush because a whole bunch of American children were left behind. This person thinks that they are going to be able to have James Talerico in the Senate and Jasmine Crockett in the House. Who's going to tell this person?
Okay. First of all, she can't run for both positions at the same time, Stanley, and also she couldn't because her seat has been X'd out of her district, so she had nowhere else to go. Yeah. They rigged it so she, exactly, V-Dub. They rigged it so she couldn't attain her seat. No, I agree. The Democratic Party and Texas Democrat leadership screwed themselves out of Democrat by drawing Jasmine Crockett under the bus in favor of James Talerico. Let me say that's not really my argument, but at the same time it is, because I'm gonna hold off on that. But I do think though they went and screwed her over though. That's my point. They screwed her over. They screwed her on both ends. Yeah, the way they're exactly. It was diabolical. Just in Williamson County and Dallas County. Why in the two counties where she's at? Why turn away people from where she lived at? Because Harris County voted for her. No, all red. Okay, there was a lot of red resonations in between that, Stanley. So, let me see. No. Like she did not resign. All red ran for his old seat back, defeating the woman who replaced him about 2 years ago. That's what All Red did. He primaried the woman who he backed 2 years ago. That was all messed up on his own. That too was messed up on his own self too. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, that's it's messed up down here. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
Because I didn't. Who's going to tell this person that one, she was gerrymandered out of her district? That's number one. Number two, she had to resign her seat in the House in order to run for Senate.
No, she did not. She did not resign. That's one thing. She did not resign. She's still a member of Congress up until January. Next January.
Come January 3rd, 2027,
Okay,
she will no longer be a member of Congress because she did not win the primary and subsequently go on to win the general. How much you want to bet that thousands of people went into the voting booth and voted for James Talerico, thinking that Jasmine Crockett was going to be able to stay in the House?
Yeah. I see what she's talking about. I see what she's on, right? And let me do this real quick. Let me go over here. Now some of y'all going to get mad about this.
Is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my opinion.
You lost.
Based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately.
Now I know somebody gonna say, Big J, why you playing his video? Well, first of all, I actually respect him. He's not a conservative. He's a libertarian. And second, his opinion matters more than Emma's, because even though he don't, from Emma's point of view, it's more that I'm a white liberal woman and I can just say, blah, 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 right? And saying some lies and mistruth in her analysis. What his analysis is honest. And he's not a Democrat. He's very libertarian. And that's why I said that at the beginning of this live stream, I'm going to sound very contradictory and I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. And that's why I said at the beginning of the live stream, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite just for this reason. Because there's a points that he made. Right? Yeah. The blacks for guns guy. Yeah. We call him the blacks for guns guy. Yeah.
This is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why. So I want you to enjoy yourselves, but I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results, and I fully anticipate it won't be until tomorrow. So I love y'all too. Thank you so much.
Get the fuck off the stage, bro. Go home. All right, look. It's easy for me to poke fun at Jasmine Crockett, right? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I go with what makes sense at the moment. If that shit don't make sense no more, I say that shit don't make sense no more, right? I'm a libertarian. Again, as I've said, and I got this line from the great Larry Sharpe, who is a libertarian running for governor of New York. If you're in New York, you should look into Larry Sharpe. Sidebar, you should also take our civics and liberty class. Type the word civics below. If you're watching this on Instagram, it's going to come right to your DM. Everywhere else, hit the link below so you can get access, so you can know some of what I'm talking about right now. Because that's really kind of like how people are able to get pulled over by personality, because they don't understand policy, limited government, so forth and so on. Anyway, Jasmine Crockett, I get it. I get it. You are trying to present yourself as relatable to your constituents, right? And her statement about this is what Republicans do, as trying to like redraw the district map for Dallas County so her constituents go into that different place. Well, you pigeonholed yourself. You pigeonholed yourself into the definition of my constituents is the ratchet, do all of that type of shit, motherfucker. That's what you did. That means you ostracized a whole lot of black people that might have been open to your thing, but you packaged it to this caricature of what it seems to be a black person or a black woman.
You know, I want to, like, again, I'm gonna sound very contradictory, right? He's right and wrong at the same time, right? He's right on how her appearances on at the Capitol, arguing with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Robart, what's her name, the Robart woman who's pro-Trump. She was doing that, you know, the big back, you know, calling the governor of Texas Hot Wheels, and Governor of Texas deserved to be called Hot Wheels, by the way. You see, again, for y'all who don't know Texas politics, Greg Abbott is the most evil man on the planet. Okay, you know, how is he on the wheelchair in no fault of his own? I'm not making fun of anybody who's injured. Yet you voted against policies that help people who are disabled. Yet you are disabled too. I mean, who does that? All right. So there are nuances in this, and a lot of y'all are missing the point about what's going on down there in Dallas, what's going down here in Texas. Y'all really are missing the nuances. Now, the problem with Jasmine's campaign is she doesn't have a campaign manager. And you know what? As somebody who doesn't have a campaign manager, being a front runner for the United States Senate seat in Texas, in a big state like Texas, man, you did a Herculean job. If you ran a campaign by yourself in the state of Texas, that is a Herculean task. Whether you win or not. So that's why I have to give her respect. Even though it was unwise and stupid for her to do for not doing that, it's still her Herculean task. I have to give props on that.
And if you didn't learn that shit don't work from the Kamala Harris situation, I don't really know what else the fuck to tell you. None of the people that are in support of Jasmine Crockett really have anything to talk about other than the whites and the white Republicans are evil. And if you black and if you're not a Democrat, you a sellout, right? It's the same Cardi B approach. It's the same, again, Kamala Harris approach. If you think that the Sista-Girl, I'm going to twerk at a fucking political event and not send
where has she twerk at, Naj? Where has she twerk at? Nowhere. Now this is where I said this is the reason why I got this. I had this conversation the other day. I think it was with Queen. Black social media is anti-black, and what he just did, he sexualized Jasmine Crockett, saying she was twerking. No, she wasn't. And I'm not a Jasmine Crockett fan like that. Y'all made me to her fan because y'all so dishonest about her. Y'all make me to her fan. Just be honest what's going on. I'm sorry. Y'all need to be honest about things. And you're supposed to be a black man, and you see you in Texas, which is a former Confederate state that fought the Civil War, and the legacy of slavery is still in the state, and yet you still sit there and try to do this Jezebel argument. I'm sorry. Using the word twerking, bruh, come on. It's all policy.
More specifically black people, because that's who you say your constituents are. If you think you're going to do that and that's going to be the win, as people are having more access to more information, more understanding of liberty, shit, I got millions of black people to buy guns and be a part of the Second Amendment. I did that with less than $1 million. So as more people are going into that government, more informed, more conservative, I mean, culturally, but still enjoying what they enjoy, a more balanced and nuanced approach, your approach has to be more intelligent. Now, this does not mean that I'm saying if you hood, somehow you're not intelligent. I want to be very clear because some of y'all going to try to package it that way. It's not what I'm saying. I walk around, I've done CPAC with a fucking hoodie on, a Black Guns Matter hoodie on and Tim's. Go look at it. So I'm not saying that you are not allowed to be urban and be intelligent. I'm not fucking Joe Biden, right? What I am saying is you have to be a holistic person. But if you've packaged yourself as the Sista-Girl thing and have not communicated effectively what you think your political opposition is doing, and then reaching more of your constituents, and some of those constituents, even the black ones, are outside of just the urban demographic, if you do a better job at that, you win in that scenario. But if you continue to keep going,
Now, that's the part where I agree with him on, right? I do agree with him on that part, okay? Do agree with him on that part.
Do the Chitlin circuit, when black enterprise exists, you're not talking to fucking Byron Allen with that finger snap shit. You're not. You're not going to have a serious sit down with Condoleezza Rice with that shit. You might have it with Kamala, but where did it get Kamala?
Okay. Then I had to ask you, how did that got to Trump? Because Trump did the same damn thing. Trump was doing all that ratchet shit too. You got to explain this. I'm just saying.
The communities that we serve are not a monolithic group of people. And if you think that the way to get to the community, the black community that you identify with and as, if you think the only way to get to that is to speak with broken slang and not be this and that and do all of the arguing back and forth, you and MTG and all that other type of shit, that's wrong. It doesn't work.
No, it did work. It got Trump in office. Trump went after Rosie O'Donnell. Trump went after the Women on the View. Trump was targeting women up and down the country. He got elected president. What are you talking about? Where's the smoke for Donald Trump?
And it's only going to get you in a space like you got right now. Communicating effectively, reaching the demographic, pivoting when your political opposition tries to snatch the ground from underneath your feet, and communicating that more effectively was the way to win here, if that's what you was interested in. But all I saw was a last-minute sponsorship from Method Man and fucking Cardi B, and you thought that was going to get you over the top. And that's the same as what Kamala did, and ain't nobody heard from Kamala since November, December of last fucking year. But I don't know, Maj, you just hate women. Maj, you just hate black people. Maj, whatever you want to say.
But Nas, you was saying that she was twerking. Of course, people want to accuse her of that because you accuse her of twerking. Come on, bro. But anyway, you move over here, right? Enough with him. Enough with him. You know, enough with him. Let me see. Right. Pure. Marjorie Taylor Greene was worse than Jasmine Crockett. Marjorie Taylor Greene was out there chasing after a teenager on Capitol Hill. Yet nobody would talk about that. Yeah. I have to give old boy the boot. I gave him the boot. And that's the point. Listen, why did Talerico took Allison money from? Allison's money when Allison was funding Trump. See, I'm glad people pay attention to what's going on. Why people are really upset about. Now I already gave somebody in the chat room the boot. I don't give a damn. You don't come over my channel saying that same old boring ass bullshit. I gave you the boot. I don't care about immigration. Immigrants. Immigrants are black people's last problem. The only identity part that would get a pass, regardless if it's white and male, yes. But anyway, let's play with Reese said. And Reese said something that I was looking at on Tuesday.
Okay, in the postscript, you know, when we were examining the election in 24, the 2024 presidential election, it was okay to call out racism and sexism then. But, you know, let me tell you, we're a whole year later and we're Democrats. We don't do that here. America found a way to put Donald Trump.
Right. So, you know, but anyway, Reese is right, but the link of that is in the description box. But, you know, I America loves a comeback story, right? America loves a comeback story because the day after she flew back and she went to roasting. Yes, Jasmine Crockett, within 12 hours, flew right back to Washington, D.C. and did this.
UC request. Officials criticized Biden vetting, but Afghan shooting suspect was granted asylum under Trump. And then September 29, 2025, Courthouse News, state sued DHS again over cuts to anti-terrorism grants for blue states.
Without objection, the gentlelady from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. And Madam Secretary, you are almost to the end, so congratulations. I just have a couple of questions. Are you aware the law that was written by this Congress makes it clear that members of Congress are allowed to, entitled to enter any detention?
Representative Crockett, I apologize. I have to run to vote in another committee, Secretary, and Mr. Schmidt will chair, and you will get extra 15 seconds, but I apologize for that.
Yes, thank
you so much
Mr.
for your
Chairman.
testimony.
Appreciate it.
Are you aware that the law makes it clear that members of Congress are allowed to enter any detention facility at any point in time in which they choose to?
Yes, I'm aware of the visitation and oversight response.
Yo. Y'all should watch my last live stream from yesterday. This woman got fired as she was speaking in Memphis, Tennessee. Donald Trump fired her yesterday, and she said, "I'm gonna meet with the president next month." Didn't even know she was fired. Man, that was some slick at man. That was bad. Anyway,
responsibility, and we work every day to try to accommodate members of Congress while taking into account the safety of those individuals that
Let me
are being
be
detained
clear,
there.
at any
And-
time, correct?
Yes, I understand there's litigation in this area.
No,
too,
no,
and so
that's not
we
my
are
question. I'm not
facilitating
asking you
that.
about litigation.
Yeah.
I'm asking you what the law is, because let me put it to you this
There's
way.
an appropriations rider that talks about
Correct,
oversight.
and appropriations
That's
are law,
correct.
because you are asking us to
Correct.
appropriate dollars right now for DHS, correct?
Correct.
And if we do that, you will take that as law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that is what the law states. Yet somehow, myself and another colleague, Congressman Castro, we ended up giving a 7-day notice to the detention facility because I had actually already gone to El Paso before. And when I went to that facility and I asked them why it was that they were requiring me to do something that specifically my branch of government had dictated was not required, they said it was because of you. They said you were the one that said that they were not allowed to allow us entry unless we gave a 7 days heads up. Is that true?
The law specifically states oversight and visitations, and we are working to
My question
facilitate
is,
those. And we're at that
were
time
you,
working
did
to
you
facilitate-
give the instruction that members must give a 7 days heads up or not?
We had a policy in place that allowed us to give. the
Did you,
staff
were you
there
the
to
one that ordered that
facilitate.
policy?
I have a responsibility for ensuring everybody in that
Okay.
facility is going to be safe, and that I have.
Okay,
adequate
no, but that's not
staff
my question, because
to
the
conduct
problem,
a
let
tour
me
and
tell you why we
oversight
need
at
to,
the same time.
reclaiming my time. The reason that I'm talking to you about this policy and you're talking to me about safety is because I did go into the Dilley detention facility.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, they're not safe. This is why we need to conduct oversight, because your people continue. In fact, you have lost more lives in detention than anybody else. That is your record right now. So I don't expect that y'all are going to be the ones that are going to be best to keep them safe. This is why we are supposed to conduct oversight and not wait for you to give permission. In fact, after I left the Dilley facility, we were informed of a measles outbreak that was taking place in that facility. And another question I have, are you the one that ordered it to be reopened because that facility was closed under Joe Biden?
Those facilities were opened with the new administration. I'd have to
Okay,
look and
you're
see
part
if
of the
that
new
was-
administration. Were you the one that ordered it to be open is my question.
I would have to see when it was opened because I wasn't sworn in until 5 days after.
Okay,
the
well, this
president
was, it was
out.
reopened in
So I
March.
would have to look at
It
when.
was reopened in March of last year.
Well, then I'm sure that contract would have been renewed while I was secretary.
Speaking of contracts, as I have actually, you know what? Let me continue on this line of y'all breaking the law. Are you familiar with a child by the name of Liam Ramos?
I am.
All right. So Liam was at this Dilley facility, and it just so happened that we had put in our 7 days notice, and y'all had grabbed him 6 days prior to our visit.
You know, I'm gonna say this. This should be a campaign ad. And you know, she should have hired a campaign manager who would clip stuff like this. Now, I granted this happened after the primary, the day, hours after the primary. She flew right back to Washington, D.C. to have this done, right? And you know, anyway, let's keep it moving.
So we were able to go and visit Liam. Are you aware of the court order that came down that released Liam from custody?
I am.
And are you aware that the judge said the case has its genesis in an ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children? This court and others regularly send undocumented people to prison and orders them deported, but do so by proper legal procedures. Are you aware of that?
Yes, and I would disagree with the judge on several
I'm
points
sure you would,
in
but can
there.
you tell me whether or not
That
you have a law degree?
Father chose to.
Can you tell
have
me whether or
Liam
not you
be
have a
with
law
him.
degree?
If I have what?
A law degree.
No, I do not have a law
Okay,
degree.
and you do understand, because I can go through a bunch of court cases and orders that I disagree with from the Supreme Court, that ultimately, that is the order of the court. That is what you follow, and if you have an issue, you appeal it up, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. The court went on to say, apparent also is the government's ignorance of an American historical document called the Declaration of Independence. 33-year-old Thomas Jefferson enumerated grievances against a would-be authoritarian king over his nascent nation. Among others were, he has sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people. He has excited domestic insurrection among us, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us. He has kept us among, in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. Are you aware that he wrote that? Do you know that he was writing about ICE that falls under you?
The judge?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. With that, I will yield, but I do have 2 UCs. The first UC is ICE training was slashed, records show corroborating whistleblower claims from the.
You know, it's a yeah. See, the thing is though, Pierre, she didn't hire a campaign manager. You know, she didn't, and that's really is one of her downfall of her campaign. She was doing it all by herself. You know, she was doing it all by herself. She was doing the financing, and I'm not even waving pom poms for her. I'm not. I'm just telling you what's happening. What led to her downfall? She did not hire a campaign manager or a well, she did have a treasurer, but she was her own campaign manager. And you know, yeah, I guess.
The Washington Post on yesterday.
Without objection.
The second one is FEMA's response to Texas flood slowed by Noem's cost controls. This is out of CNN from July 10th of 2025.
Without objection.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to close it unless. What do you think? I would ask unanimous consent to put in the record a.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think with that hearing, I think with that hearing is that okay, I'm really getting tired of y'all talking about, well, she pissed off Latinos. And then y'all the same ones that's talking about, well, she lost because she was pro-immigrant. Now you coming here talking about she's anti-immigrant. Make up your mind up. Now I already kicked out one guy who come on here who said, oh, she was being anti-black and anti-FBA, and she was coddling the immigrants. Now at this point, now you saying she's no, none of y'all live in Texas. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Right. Stanley, just roast Dave over that because, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Man, that don't make any sense. You got 2 people come in my chat room. One said, "Yo, man, she was anti-FBA," and then the other person said she was pro-Hispanics, and then the other one said, "Man, she was anti-Hispanics." I swear, black social media angers me. It really does. Like y'all don't do no research. Y'all just say anything and try to make it stick against the wall. And I'm saying this, I am not a pro Jasmine Crockett person. Even though I voted for her, I'm not waving pom poms for Jasmine Crockett. What I'm seeing is a lot of unfair treatment upon her. No, I'm not talking to you. No, I'm not dropping. I ain't dropping no link. No link. Anyway. Well, you know, we'll call her up though. Yeah, the Israeli races has arrived. Shalom. Yeah, shalom. Yeah. Yeah, while Bishop Netanyahu is giving us World War III, dragged us into a war that we don't want to be a part of. Anyway. I'm gonna thank the 90 people who was watching me. Thanks to the 90 people, 95 people who was watching. Now it's 51. Because I'm spread out on 4 different social media accounts. Wait a minute. I got kicked out of hold on. I got kicked out of Kick. Hold on. Okay. Oh, never mind. I'm still on Kick. That's right. I'm about to say, what the hell? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say right now. Y'all be easy. I don't know. I'm gonna be live later on. Who knows? Shout out to Pierre. Shout out to Auntie. Shout out to Candy Cane. All right. Queen Sunkiss. I guess she's still at work. You know, normally she would be over here. Right. Yeah, we at war that making us weak. However, it's shown China their weakness. I'm going to the state convention. I'm sorry. Hey, listen. I can't watch this movie on the sidelines no more. I can't watch this movie from the sidelines anymore. You know, right? Oh yeah, Femi too. Yeah, shout out to Femi. I need see. I wasn't paying attention to the chat room. I saw Femi. Oh yeah, Femi was up here. Brandon Smith, Stanley Cross. Listen, I was I had an argument with somebody. She should have ran for Attorney General of Texas. She would have won that. She would have won that. You know, she would have won that position. She ran for Attorney General of Texas instead of run for the Senate job. Just saying, real brother got the bag. Yeah, I see y'all down here too. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, let me get off of here. Yeah. So I'm gonna get off of here. So yeah. Free. If she would ran for Attorney General, she would have been shoe in. She would be, she would be shoe in already. So I'm gonna get off of here. And I'm not dropping the link because I'm tired. I'm sleepy. So yeah. Y'all have a good one. I'm out. Peace. Oh, and shout out to you as well. Shout out to you as well. All right. Let me read Femi's comment before you go. Hold on. Let me see. What did Femi said? Hold on. What shout out to you, Pierre? Yeah. That one? You referring to that one, or there's another comment? Oh, this one. Oh, she lost because white people hadn't learned their lesson about electing a fake Christian white man. Michelle Obama was very classy, and they still found a problem with her. Jasmine should continue to be herself. Okay. No. No. You know what? I'm not going to talk to you right now because you on that. You hate Arabs and everything. I don't hate other people. Sorry, I don't. Nagone. Keisha Bottom, yeah, Keisha Bottoms is running for governor of Georgia. So, but I think Jasmine's going to stay in Texas though. She's going to stay in Texas though. I think, you know, what's going on, Noem? I'm going with you. So, I hate to end it soon, Noem, but like I said, I just got off from work 2 hours ago, and I decided to do a little quick live stream. So anyway, get out of here. Oh, and let me do this real quick, y'all. Let me do this real quick. Yeah, here's my QR code. If you care to, donations are appreciated. All right. Yes, it's appreciated over here. Yeah, I'm not here to beg. I'm just saying, you know, it's appreciated. So, get out of here. I want Jasmine to fight for Nevada. Okay. She might have a better chance if she moved to Atlanta. She has a chance of being elected out of Atlanta. I mean, out of Georgia, and in Nevada too, though. I think, you know. Stanley about to cook. Oh, Stanley, thank you for cooking PH Diva. Okay, thank you for cooking the shit out of PH Diva. I gotta say, shout out. Hold on, to Stanley Cross. Let me give him a round of applause and some flowers for cooking PH Diva. All right, I'm glad you did that. That was a long time coming that somebody did. That call her ass out on that dump, on that disrespect, the disrespect she be doing. Oh, let me say this too, right? Because I'm going to hate. Oh yes, I'm gonna be petty, and let me start hating real quick. I want y'all to notice something, and I'm not the only one who said it. Do you realize Sharon is not growing any more subs? Have y'all noticed that Sharon is not getting any more that much donations? You know why? Because Big J is not on his channel anymore. That's why. I'm not on his channel anymore. You know, that's the point. You know. Oh, shout out! Thank you for the super chat, Noem. Thank you for the super chat. So, anyway, yeah. I'm sorry. I had to be petty. Because I noticed it, and this. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Another super chat from Dave. Shout out from Dave with the super chat. Okay. Yeah. All right. I got how many super chats I got? 2. Okay, that's $4. Okay, that's good. Anyway, let me get off of here. See y'all next time. And I might go live later this afternoon. Who knows? And I might do that before I go to work. So I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.